Have you ever begun a month with the best intentions to save money, buying just what you require, avoiding sales shows, and keeping a close eye on your spending? Then it all appears to happen, despite your best efforts. You've invested more money than you intended before you realize it. Don't be too hard on yourself. It happens to the best of us. So before you get your next credit card bill and wonder how to avoid wasting money, read on for some of the best money-saving advice available. We overspend for a variety of reasons. It's likely that this is due to our lack of knowledge of our true spending patterns. Maybe we're underestimating our profits, taxes, loan payments, and expenditures. Finally, our bank account balance falls below our standards. Whatever the case may be, if you're ready to take charge of your finances, these pointers will assist you in doing so. Number 1, recognize the spending triggers. Identifying the emotional and psychological causes that cause us to spend money is also the first step in learning how to avoid spending money. You'll eliminate the temptation and incentive to overspend if you remove those causes. So keep these things in mind the next time you leave the house. Daylight savings time. Do you notice that you have more energy at different times of the day? If that's the case, go shopping when you're feeling more energized and less depressed. When you're happy and less distracted, you'll make better financial decisions and think more clearly. Is there something that makes you want to spend money or makes you feel compelled to spend only because you're in a certain environment? Craft fairs, shopping malls, home shows, and even vacations are all prime examples of places where you're more likely to overspend. So avoid temptation by either avoiding certain circumstances or only taking a small amount of money with you. Similarly, if you have a favorite shop where you find yourself roaming the aisles searching for great bargains, do whatever you can to restrict your visits. If you can't resist going to your favorite shop, keep your money and credit cards away from yourself. Feelings. Our energy resources can be altered by our moods and emotional states, making us more susceptible to impulse purchases. If we're angry, stressed, or nervous, we might seek retail therapy to help us feel better. Instead of going to the mall or your favorite online retailer, go to the gym or the park. Going for a walk or participating in any sort of exercise will do wonders for your mood. Some moods will make you see things through rose-colored lenses, making it seem like a good deal. What counts is that you know the moods that impact your buying patterns and formulate tactics to stop shopping while you're in a mood that contributes to impulse purchases. Peer influence. The pressure on a man to spend money is palpable. When you're out with your mates, do you tend to spend more money than you usually would? Even the most well-intentioned friends can be a negative influence on us, particularly if they themselves have poor spending habits. It's fine to say no to your friends' invitations if you can't afford to eat, shop, or vacation like they can. Instead, consider tactics that won't cost you a lot of money. A few money-saving ideas to consider include meeting for coffee instead of lunch, finding new hiking trails instead of going to the next concert, and hosting a potluck dinner at home instead of going out to eat. You won't be able to take lavish vacations or eat at fancy restaurants, but you can still have a nice social life without wasting a lot of money. Don't be afraid to tell your friends that you're trying to save money. They may be able to assist you on your quest, and some might even join you. What matters is that you surround yourself with friends who can help you achieve your financial objectives. When you've become used to a certain way of life, it can be difficult to give it up when you're unexpectedly faced with financial difficulties. However, if your lifestyle grows to outstrip your budget and you don't know how to stop, you can find yourself in much worse shape. Your childhood has an impact on the lifestyle choices you make. If you grew up in a family where money was always tight, you could feel compelled to overspend in order to make up for all the things you were denied as a child. Similarly, if you grew up in a family where money was not a problem, you may feel obligated to invest money you don't have in order to preserve the lifestyle you grew up in. The simplest way to begin living within your means is to make and adhere to a budget. You will have to give up some creature comforts, but it will be well worth it once your bank account is no longer in the red. Number 2, keep watch on your expenses. The smallest transactions can easily add up, and by the end of the month, we can find ourselves with a drained bank account and serious buyer's remorse. The secret to good budgeting is keeping track of your expenditures because it holds you responsible for every dollar you spend. You'll be in a better place to make smarter spending decisions and find ways where you can save money because you know where your money is going. Many people begin by keeping track of their larger expenditures, but it's just as important to keep track of those small, regular transactions. A morning latte, those out-of-town lunches, picking up a lottery ticket, or taking a magazine from the supermarket checkout line can all add up to a lot more than you think, and they can have a huge effect on our budget. If you save only $4 a day, which is the cost of a morning latte or a breakfast bagel sandwich, you'll save more than $100 a month. Number 3, stop using credit cards and stick to cash. It's easier to pay for anything with a credit card than it is to count out a wad of bills. But this ease is one of the reasons for many people's overspending. The disadvantage of credit cards is the simplicity at which you can overspend. We're always unaware of how much it would add up at the end of the month when we casually hand over our card to make a purchase. With cash, you can see how much money you have and how much of it is depleting with each purchase. You force yourself to invest only what you have if you only pay in cash. So put down your credit cards and try to stick to a cash-based method to see how it helps you manage your spending. Take out some cash at the start of the week based on your budget and put it in an envelope that will double as your ATM for the week. To cover your purchases, take out a few bills here and there, and if you run out of cash, you'll have to figure out a way to stretch your money. Paying with cash teaches you how to avoid relying on credit and how to avoid wasting money you don't have. The cash envelope scheme would also motivate you to be more resourceful and innovative. If you overspend and don't have enough money to go out to dinner with your friends, you'll have to come up with new ways to save money or come up with new ways to spend time with your friends on a budget. It's difficult to learn how to avoid wasting money, but it's possible. Stopping overspending and reforming your spending habits takes time and effort, and the temptation to tap your card will pop up now and then. Don't be too harsh on yourself if something happens to you. No one can truly change their bad habits overnight. You'll become a smart customer who knows how to avoid wasting money and instead use it wisely once you've learned how to budget and set some targets and precautions in place.